So, have you felt it? That really weird sense of déjà vu, like you've woken up and somehow traveled back a decade. You're scrolling through your phone and you're seeing chokers, classic Snapchat filters, and just a whole vibe that feels super familiar. Well, you are not alone. Something is definitely happening online, and it feels a whole lot like 2016.
And look, this isn't just a gut feeling. We're talking about major platforms basically declaring it a full-on cultural moment. I mean, Snapchat itself, the company that practically owned the 2016 aesthetic, put it right out there. This is way more than a simple throwback. It's a massive collective look back. But just how massive are we talking?
Okay, the speed of this trend is just wild. According to TikTok's own data, searches for the year 2016 shot up by an incredible 452% in just 1 week. This is not a slow burn, folks. This is a wildfire of nostalgia, and it is absolutely sweeping across the internet, driven by literally millions of people.
So what is going on here exactly? This whole phenomenon, what people are calling 2026 is the new 2016, is so much more than a hashtag. It's this complex cultural echo that's bringing back the fashion, the tech, and just the general feeling of a very, very specific moment in time. So let's break down what's happening, why it's happening right now, and what it all really means.
The scale we're talking about here is just immense. This isn't some tiny niche corner of the internet. The hashtag 2016 has been used in over 1 million posts on TikTok and a staggering 37 million posts on Instagram. This movement is mainstream and is being powered in a huge way by Gen Z. So, what was it about 2016 that made it so darn memorable?
All right, let's take a quick trip back. To really get why we're so obsessed with 2016, you have to remember what that year actually felt like. It was a time defined by some truly massive, unifying cultural moments that, honestly, everyone seemed to be a part of.
Remember these? For a few weeks, it felt like the entire world was outside catching Pokémon. Then, bam, everyone was frozen in place for the mannequin challenge. We saw dabbing everywhere, and a song about a pen, a pineapple, and an apple became a global sensation. These weren't just trends. They were these huge, shared experiences in a way that feels kind of rare today.
And that's the crucial thing, the vibe. A lot of experts describe 2016 as a time of peak casual. Social media just felt lighter, less performative. You could post a picture of your avocado toast without it needing to be part of some complex personal branding strategy. It was before every single post had to be perfectly curated and optimized.
Now, this nostalgia isn't just some abstract feeling. It's showing up in really tangible ways. The actual look and feel of 2016 are being pulled directly out of the time capsule and right into today.
Does this look familiar? The choker necklace, the bomber jacket, that classic slip dress layered over a plain white t-shirt? These weren't just popular back in 2016. They're the exact styles showing up on runways and in street fashion right now. It's like a direct copy and paste of an entire aesthetic.
And the same thing is happening in our digital lives. Those iconic Snapchat filters, the dog ears and the flower crown, are seeing a massive surge in searches. People are feeling nostalgic for that more spontaneous, kind of unpolished way of sharing. What they called the King Kylie era, when Kylie Jenner's seemingly off-the-cuff posts basically set the tone for the whole platform.
And you know who's loving all this? Brands. Brands that were at their peak in the mid-2010s are riding this wave hard. Companies like Abercrombie & Fitch, Hollister and American Eagle are perfectly positioned for a comeback. Kylie Cosmetics is leaning into its own origin story. Even Coca-Cola brought back its famous Share a Coke campaign. This nostalgia, it's very, very marketable.
The fact that this is so marketable brings us to the most important question of all. Why? Why is this working so well? It turns out this isn't just about fashion coming back around. There are some really deep psychological drivers pushing us all to look back at 2016.
Psychologists and retail experts call this kind of nostalgia a form of risk aversion. Basically, when the present feels unstable or uncertain, and let's be honest, it does, we don't tend to look for new, risky things. Instead, we retreat to the last time that felt manageable and familiar. We gravitate toward what we know because it feels safe.
And we can really break down this feeling of uncertainty into 3 main drivers. First, we're longing for a simpler, less exhausting social media world. Second, there's a lot of anxiety about the current economy. And third, there's a real desire to escape our pretty polarized present.
Let's start with that first one. There's a real burnout happening with social media today. The constant pressure to perform, the confusing algorithms, the endless scrolling. The nostalgia for 2016 is partly a nostalgia for that peak casual era. a time when being online felt a little more spontaneous and a lot less like a job.
The second driver is all about money. For a lot of people, especially the young adults in Gen Z who are really pushing this trend, 2016 is remembered as a time of relative stability. It was pre-pandemic, the economy felt stronger, and interest rates and inflation were low. This nostalgia is tied to a yearning for a time that just felt more financially secure.
This quote from psychologist Clay Routledge really hits the nail on the head. He points out that huge societal shifts, like the rise of AI and all the worries about the future of work, are exactly the kinds of things that trigger nostalgia. We look back a decade because the future feels so uncertain. For many, 2016 was also the last moment before some major political shifts, representing a kind of last good year before things felt a lot more fractured.
So, let's pull back and look at the big picture. What does this viral trend really tell us about where we are right now? Because it's about so much more than old-fashioned coming back in style. It actually reveals something pretty deep about our collective state of mind. Here are the key things to take away. This trend shows a deep desire for those big, unifying moments like Pokémon Go, especially in an age where everything feels so fragmented. It also confirms that for brands, nostalgia is one of the most reliable and powerful marketing tools they have. But most importantly, it shows this isn't just a trend, it's a massive cultural coping mechanism for dealing with the anxieties of today.
As retail expert Jeff Niffen puts it, this whole thing is real. It's not just some fleeting internet joke. Whether you see it as a marketing push, a psychological defense, or maybe a bit of both, this phenomenon is having a real impact on what we buy, what we post, and how we see the world.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. As we try to navigate a world that's changing so fast, is looking backward just a temporary escape? Or is nostalgia becoming a vital tool that we actually need to manage the anxieties of the present? Something to think about the next time you see a flower crown filter pop up on your feed.
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.